So last time, one of the things that we were talking about that is we have a current and past client list, and we have people on the email list, and we're still not doing the thing to sell them stuff. We're still not doing the thing to get them on discovery calls. We're still not doing the thing to capitalize and maximize yield on the assets we already have, which is the thing that's closest to revenue and profit, more profit, because we've already spent the money to generate those leads. We don't need to spend more money to acquire them. We have a last mile problem, but all our energy goes into solving first mile problem. The thing to realize here with the business is that this is actually the way to more independence and freedom. This actually doesn't take away from it. And the reason why is that this is not just you, this is most founders, they think that they have a lead generation issue. They're always trying to find ways to get more leads. 80+% of energy goes into generating more leads. In most cases, I find that that's actually not the main bottleneck. They have enough leads. There are more than enough leads in their client lists and their email lists and people they've had sales conversations with, past clients. The problem, the real bottleneck, is actually their ability and their willingness and the systems to convert the leads that they already have. It's lead conversion. And this is typically something that's ignored and avoided because this doesn't produce, as in lead conversion, doesn't produce as much dopamine as lead generation does. We're programmed to want stuff we don't have, and then we chase those things. And when we get them, we get a dopamine hit. So we get addicted to the dopamine, but that keeps us on an endless treadmill of effort.
Right.
But actually, if we get better at converting leads we've already paid for to generate, then we build a much more efficient way to generate revenue. And by the way, when we get better at converting leads that we already have into dollars, then any lead generation initiatives or systems automatically become way more efficient because our bucket is not that leaky. So if I have a big bucket and it's full of holes, it's kind of silly to keep trying to put more water into the bucket. But that's what most entrepreneurs are doing. And they put a lot of energy, they waste a lot of energy, time, money, pouring more water into the bucket, but a lot of that just falls out of the bottom. So if we plug the holes first, if we make it so that the bucket has less holes, then even 1/5 of the lead generation efforts will generate exponentially more revenue and profit because we've just gotten way more efficient at converting the leads that we have. The real place to focus right now, I think, is in generating ways to convert the leads we already have. They already know us, they already like us, they already trust us to varying degrees. They're one step removed from revenue versus someone who's never heard of us. They don't know who we are, they don't know what we do, they're not familiar with us. There's no trust because they haven't transacted with us. There are many, many steps removed from revenue and profit. First, we're just trying to throw darts on the board and see what lands where. Maybe the first iteration of this is you make a list of the top 30 and you send an email to each CEO or whoever the contact is there, being like, hey, it's been a while, hope you're well. Um, Wanted to catch up and see how everything is going. Are you around this week or next for 15 minutes on the phone? And that's it. And you get on the phone with them, you talk to them, and you're not selling anything, you're not pitching anything, you're genuinely just connecting and seeing how things are. What I would do is give them advice where you can. And then if they say something about some challenge they're having, Your question is, would you like some help with that? And if they say yes, now it can be a sales conversation, and then you know how to direct that. If you reach out to 30 people and you close 10 deals out of it, oh, wait, that's interesting. Now we have some signal. Then we can actually, you and I can look at the data and be like, okay, so what kind of a process makes the most sense to create based on this? Who should own that process? What should it look like? How do we make it repeat? And maybe that ends up being 10% of what you do, because every time you generate $100,000 in MRR, oh, okay, like that seems worth it. Or maybe it's something else. Maybe we end up piloting some sort of a small group workshop where you have the 30 conversations and you come back and you're like, okay, 20 of those people all had the same exact thing that they're struggling with. And we're like, huh, interesting. Okay, why don't we host a workshop where you're basically solving that problem for them? And you can go back and invite those people, be like, hey, I'm hosting this workshop to solve this problem. It's $500 or $300, but I want to just comp you a ticket so you can come as my guest. And now we're actually demonstrating even more value, and maybe that leads to a sale.